China purpose for change and evaluate the OGI wey make we dey na so today, wey make we bring the chiefs dem na so today.
Understand them say OGI, the Open Government Initiative. Now a grassroots program where Papa President been start when he come. For make sure say the government and people, then they see now the same side. Make sure say the government and people, they understand themselves. We go push the collapse go before. Not alone. OGI they look stronger one. It's like all it's in them where government they do. And make sure say the people then gladdy. Which waiting they be. Now Mama Salon na the first one.
Well, from Blado, when I don't say at this time, we must talk about advocacy in governance, OGI, OGPR, the program will bring the government closer to the people. Well, not say, well, they say OGI don't come today. Yes, we count something. Very, very important one for bringing Cantona, as usual. But the people that we deal with today, they just come, you know. I told you see them more than I just come. Anyway. Well, now me right, I get Dr. Oni Eddie Fraser Williams in the chemistry department at Fobe College, University of Salon, Dr. Telfam Lado.
Family, good afternoon.
Over here, next to me, I get an Alpha Mohamed Jallo of OGI, of course. He just come up from China. Ni hao.
Ni hao, ma.
And I get, of course, Anna Jimmy. We'll not forget again, you know, name that name again. Of course. Well, in our program manager, OGI, OGP, just from Lado.
Family, good evening.
All right. But must start with look at the experience first, you know, as to Nakomo, China, doctor. You know. But first of all, what's an experience, you know, for the very first time, like you go China?
Yes, Mr. Dan.
Yes.
For the very first time, set me foot into China. And it was quite interesting. Contrast in terms of the geographical location of China compared to Sierra Leone. Some amount of contrast again in terms of culture, right? Although the Chinese people somehow they are warm. Again, well, contrast in terms of the time difference, it was 8 hours difference, and that created some challenges, especially when at the afternoon. I think they were supposed for the week, so it caused some problem. The experience was quite good, really. We learned more, and we know say by the time we go through the program, you ask some specific questions. So might just stop at
That's okay. That's Mr. Jallo.
Yeah, indeed, I just joined the queue waiting Dr. Jeffossi. Contrary to what we've been doing here, you know, about China, when we go see something different. One, we try for study about the political system there. We look at the time difference, just like what the doctor said, and we able see what to make China develop. You know, we able to visit on certain areas, we in a historical areas for them, you know. So that's tell we say yes, indeed China did progress, you know, unlike like we do in on the area before. You see. So really very interesting, you know, for we before say this time the first time we some of we, you know, step of foot in China. You know. Indeed it is very, very interesting.
Okay. All right, okay. Well, we'll go for Anna. You don't go China, really. You don't go China.
No, you know, say now we did.
Yes.
Now we did.
Yes.
But briefly, make I just give a brief background to this China trip. The OGI partner with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and we try to see how go enhance we staff and volunteers them. So based on this partnership with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, then we get a think tank wey for come out from Sierra Leone for go China. So the team wey come out OGI in Sierra Leone, I think Mr. Jallo will talk about now would that be the lead. I think OGI be the lead. So then go on this think tank for go discuss and talk about the different cultures, them, the background, cultural background, and also waiting then they do yanda wey dem feel say for can't do na we go bring better thing to we country. So I think Mr. Jallow and Dr. Fraser go dey more in place for tell we some of the things that we then learn over the way they feel say if they can put into practice, how it will make other people learn or other Sierra Leoneans them better from waiting them go study in China. But this week again done before I come to Mr. Jallow and Dr. Fraser, the OGI as usual, the 644 call center is still the one. We get the OGI call center 644 is the one. Calls that they come in on different issues them we concerns, suggestions and recommendations them for waiting will make salon go before. And also I think last week or so the presidential spokesman, the Mamba TV began an award. So OGI be big parts of the team where like they can present the award to them. So, but I think let's go to Mr. Jallow and Dr. Fraser. I made them tell we waiting them pull na China. Waiting at the good things the way they pull na China, where they feel say based on the various backgrounds and because also OGI no more go Mr. Jallow go at least give you a brief background on the different people the way we go from Sierra Leone and whose role we feel say they will can play. And waiting them go learn and that way they will come put into place na Salonia, Mr. Jallow.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very interesting, you know. Very interesting. First and foremost, I joined the queue, like I just say. We get a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And now them select the participants, then we forgo. From Sierra Leone, it was 30 participants we go. The University of Sierra Leone sent 2 representatives, winner Dr. Fraser and the head of department, and one with from the education department, now the 3 from the University of Sierra Leone. Then again, we get Unimac University of Makeni, the Vice Chancellor and Principal being David Wee, with Father Joe Toure, and one of the admin financial secretary, instead the panel. Then also Injala University, we invite 2. They invite 2 representatives from Injala University, senior lecturers. Then we get representative from the Tourist Board, Sierra Leone Roads Authority. We get also representative from other private and non-governmental organizations. So as a whole, we get even the director for research from National Revenue Authority, winner Dr. Cabo, instead of David Wee, you know. So we get a mixed, you know, combination of different people from different backgrounds who all go meet. But like you rightly say, you know, I want to thank the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you know, for a wonderful coordination we then do. So we've been getting note verbal wherein they ask me as for make a lead and for be the team leader for the 30 people that would go na China and maybe serve as a focal person. Indeed, it was very interesting when we go. We reach on the 5th, the 5th. Now the 6th. Sorry, the 6th. Now we reach China. Yes, and we left here the 4th.
Yes. For 2 days.
Yes, indeed. We left for the Brussels. From Brussels, then we enter inside China. You know, we got a warm reception from the Graduate School of Chinese Academy. This Graduate School of Chinese Academy is a specialized institution. When you foresee then they set up that institution for advise government, you know, on what government is supposed to do. Yeah. So now that's make when we get this mixture, you know, we feel CS indeed it was a very good combination. Because as the part from the university will go learn the CS indeed, this now scholars them. Doctor go admit go admit CS indeed. Most of the guys that we lecture with are social professors. Highly skilled, you know, people. Begin the showing about the political system there. Talk about the cultural, you know, then we'll begin negotiate on certain areas. But you know, one thing was very much we interesting to me. Anything so far they mention, then they make reference to the leader. Yes, you know, because at least the leader they should give the foresight. Most of the tears who will go landing, we say indeed it's been embedded, you know, into the WION system here, which refers to the agenda for change and the agenda for prosperity. Though they have a different nomenclature, how they name them. You see, but most of them thing and day is embedded in it. You see, and what thing make the thing look so much interesting more? Now the transformation which China do from 1978 to 2016. They do a wonderful transformation. You know, we are in then thinking of the educational reforms they wouldn't do. And that one is very, very important. You know, then tailor the curriculum towards the aims and aspirations of their own people. Yeah, because at the initial stage, just like normal how they get, the university would they get, it not being they meet the the students would they produce, not being able to get they not being able to market themselves. So then can they sit down? Now make them form this particular graduate school of Chinese Academy. They say, you know what? You advise me. Yeah, you see, and really then they advise government on policies. Just like they see similar trend, like here in State House, we'll get the strategy and policy unit from the office of the president. You know, what they're supposed to do. Because anything they do is research driven. It's not based on anecdotal evidence. Rather, it is research driven. So you see, so we have one from CC, these are some of them things and then ideas that they will don't inculcate. We say, you know what, we're going to form a think tank in Sierra Leone. For make we able, yes indeed, advise government. Jimmy.
Donc,
thank you, Mr. Dan. As Mr. Jallo rightly said, we arrive on the 6th of June, and
6th.
The 6th, yes, the 6th of June. We arrived the 6th, and as we rightly say, it was a combination of think tank and scholars we go for this program. Now, as you rightly hear from the title, think tank and scholars, we go to China and then begin for showing who side them come out and who side them they right now. And then show you how they come out today and how they reach outside with this right now. Mr. Jallo talk, he made mention of a particular institution we host with, the Graduate School of Chinese Academy, CAS for short. And that is one of the many think tanks we get in China. It will surprise you for no say they get thousands of think tanks in China. Thousands of think tanks in China, of different categories. And get think tanks which are government think tanks. You get think tanks which are independent but government sponsored think tanks. You get think tanks which are private think tanks, and several others. So you get government think tanks the way you go, they within the ambit of the president. You get think tanks go there at governmental level. Now, looking at the work, part of the work of these think tanks there, these are institutions which they do research on a specific area or a group of area so that they get the best information, the best policy advice when they go give to government. But the interesting side of it is that the government of China, they rely on these think tanks.
Okay.
It's like the brain for the Chinese government. They rely on them so much, so you get so much advice from the think tanks where they come, the government will go for choose. And these think tanks, then they do research. And the majority of them are funded and sponsored fully by government. In fact, they make reference to one of the smallest group of think tanks when the budget is $50 million per year.
China a big country.
Mr. Dan, research is not come cheap, come easy.
Yeah.
So if you want to get the best information, you have to give the condition. You have to make condition available and the skills available. And one thing we learn from them, again, they had, in general, 2 periods of time. The period before Chairman Mao, and the period from Chairman Mao right on to the present leader, Jinping. And they make reference from Chairman Mao in period. And it's like there is a developmental agenda which they are all following. They are all speaking the one language. They are all very focused. They are all with the idea and the agenda that China should progress and China should move ahead. So it's basically, and they say, within a period of 30 years, they have moved from where they are in a state wherein they were like Sierra Leone, because they made mention and they called Sierra Leone specifically when they were doing some of this analysis. And again, over 80% of the one that we will deal with, they are all full professors. So these are people who are grounded internationally and nationally. They are well grounded. So then can we go and then show it that this is something which you can replicate if you want. Right? So it's not, we don't say we get one think tank in Sierra Leone, right? But the way, of course, the effectiveness of them is one. You got the finance of them. I mean, what you go do research with if you not get nothing? You need it too. And when they we say the smallest group of think tanks having a budget of about $50 million. Man, that's striking. And most of their think tank group are government sponsored. Now, Mr. Jallo made mention of this Graduate School of Chinese Academy, which is like a special, it's a university. It's a university because you have professors there, doctors, and all these things. And these are people who are doing social research. And they come up with their evidence, their findings, and they will present it to government. So that government have the government will do something and will say, we are not aware. We don't know. So that you don't say, if you go this way, this is the effect. If you go that way, that is the effect. So they are well informed, properly informed. So when the government spend money on them, they know, say, that they get the returns out of it. So this is one key thing we learn, and the governments rely on them, and they themselves, the think tank group, then they perform.
Well, just as you say, but we have got think tank now, but they're not too effective. And apart from that, again, even when think tank people can perceive them as political, so when they look them make it die out because of waiting, because perhaps they don't know how for let them know, see them people are very important. If you pour money, just as I say, and if you do proper research, because me look and say what you explain, doctor, if they do proper research on not take the social life, no, how people the strain, what they need, if then they listen, then go for take care of that day. As a small country, But the think tank, I don't know how it will work, Anna. I don't know how effective it will be.
Well, let me just make a small addition and then we go to Anna. Now, remember that I say there are different categories of think tanks. And China gets all of these categories. You have government-owned think tanks. Now, they are biased to government. They are doing the job correctly. You go about and do the research, whatever, but they are a bit biased to government. You have independent think tanks and private think tanks who are independent. You have to source their funds elsewhere, right? But they themselves can advise government that this is the correct thing to do, this is not the correct thing to do. You get quasi-government think tanks. So, not as for saying you get a think tank, we don't go be biased. So, in fact, for example, private think tank you get a company wherein they get a group of people who say, they find out, they think for we don't get any issue for go begin think about it. They pay for think for this particular company, give you all the ideas and how we go forward. That's the role of the think tank for that private company. So they don't think about any other thing else. Now that's someone that they think of, give them the best information, the best advice, find out everything that's happening in the world concerning how that organization will go forward. So you have those kind of think tanks there again. You get the government, you get the semi-government think tanks, depending on funding and their allegiance to government. So you can get very various kind.
Yeah,
So, yes,
yeah. Just in addition to what Dr. Richard talk about, yes, of course, then get private think tanks because like then they try for showy different model of think tank. United States of America, one of the first people that we start the think tank because like then say go watch how United States of America they do their own think tank. Europe back then gets their own think tank. Like the ministries, departments and agencies, heads of departments, with the great policies then, these are not think tank. You understand? Then the tailor, then you within the objective of that particular organization. Okay? But like then, what they do, this graduate of schools of exclusively is government funded. The other think tank them can come, they can get them, you report them, count them through this graduate school of social sciences, tell them for make them able influence the decision makers. You see, which is a key. You see, so when we look at we try for cascade, we look in Sierra Leone. Yes, of course, like how Dr. say, we get different type of think tank in Sierra Leone. Even then, some of them they call themselves consultancy, research, and blah blah. These are private think tank, independent. Then get the way how they source their own funding. You see.
But then they are sure say the research they limited.
Of course.
Because they go source funding for social research,
No.
then you can't do political
No.
research. So because
You
of
can't do
this,
that. Yeah.
now that make her say it's very good that we able for get this opportunity as government for this think tank because we not just I think the Ministry of Foreign Affairs not just select then different people there so but then we get a reason we make them look at the various institutions then and how the institutions they also go implement what they don't go learn so that at least it will be beneficial to each and every Sierra Leonean. So I think you will talk us say when they try for see how now we can set up a think tank now. Probably you need for, as some people can say, you need for sell yourself. How you get for go about, how una get for go about some. Because from the discussion way I don't get so far, it's very, very rich. And I don't learn so much about think tanks. Probably somebody go there out there, we don't even know what's in a think tank. But listening to this, like this afternoon, people will begin to say, oh, okay, we get interest in this kind of thing. And so waiting and waiting una don't plan for do in terms of like waiting una don't go learn and how una feel say because like the Chinese culture and political setting is different from the Sierra Leone culture and political setting. So if waiting they fit the Chinese, probably go fit the Sierra Leone, but waiting and waiting una don't see because you don't see how the Chinese do them. How una feel say una go can do them for fitting to the Sierra Leonean culture and how you go able fit into governments. Especially representing governments on this particular trip on all go.
Yeah, indeed, it's very important. One is, like I rightly say, we get the political system in China is quite different from Sierra Leone. They can always they quote from them, they being the own leader where they talk say, any system we see it enhance economic development, it enhance political stability, it increase economic growth. You understand? It's that system there is a very good system. In Sierra Leone, just like how we system here, we get a hybrid. Now Britain colonized but will not follow parliamentary system of government here. We'll get a hybrid, we'll refer to as a presidential and parliamentary system of government. Okay? So like when we sit down, we'll say, you know what? We have to. because like the name denotes, na think tank and scholars. This like a reservoir of knowledge. We una go look una expertise in different fields. You get people that win an economist, we don't be able to say, you know what? Now look this at this particular area here. So we look at the fiscal policies. Some people then will say, you know what? Let's look at the education. But you know, we can get one thing to say, we need to reinvent the wheel. We complement each other's efforts, all in the name for ensure CS indeed will help the government. Now I make, you see, with the leverage on the comparative advantage. That is the key. Very, very important. How we do that? As a team, we get for sit down because we just come out that place there. Now, so you know what? We'll get for go a retreat to one of the universities. Like University of McKinney, don't even tell me, say, you know what, guys, we need for go the logo, sit down, logo brainstorm. You see, as a government entity, you know, we dey listen because we want for tap talent. We want for tap the talent from the different experts they will get. Then they come up with a proposal, which all of us, I mean, OGI is there, the university is there, you know, we look at them comprehensively for the good of this country. Perhaps it's from there we're going to coin what name are we going to give. You know, we say, well, okay, let's tell all this, na so. You see? Yeah.
Okay.
But for now, na so we don't do it because we boku. 30, not easy thing.
Not a book that for salon.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah? No, that's it. But Doc, don't look at the media. When I've been, you know, trying to do or know more about the media in China. I'm not able to know that because the media in China, everything in the government own, you know, and even newspaper, radio, television, government.
In some states itself, you know they get access to Google because I think the Chinese government puts a ban on them. So you know they can go Facebook.
You know what CNN said?
They are common, they are not go Facebook. I know it will get me. Doc always with the talk.
You know
So
what?
both can talk.
You know what CNN said?
We know they able.
So, but
You
the
know, I
people
don't even able
check
email.
the people checking on a few media houses.
No, Mr. Dan, they know if okay, we're gonna know media houses. You see, the Chinese system is very interesting. Interesting in the sense that it is working for them. It is working for them and they're working for them well. So you will go there for a short period of time, you will struggle because there is no Google, there is no Facebook. We have to we be careful try to download some apps for the way for contact. Make some contacts here and there. But even at that, it was limited. And we had some challenges who will go first. In the first place, we are all out of contacts from the outside world. For the first 3 to 4 days, we are all out of contact from the outside world. For whatever reason, we don't know.
So they were saying
Nothing.
Easy.
Nothing.
Wow. So probably
Yes,
into Gmail because Google they know they take Google. Then the rest states say like we say for Google last year. I think the only say will be able to get access to Gmail na Guangzhou.
Because black money and plenty.
business
Business
place.
place. Yeah. So, but generally in China, there is no Google, there is no YouTube, there is no Facebook. You have to get specific apps. By the time they bring an account to you and try to manipulate, so they tell me what they don't know. But again, there is no English channel in the television, so the television was useless. There is no English channel.
So you are bored.
Of course, and the thing is, again, they make sure they engage you the whole of the day. So you are not free.
By
the time you go, you are tired and sleepy, you go sleep. And then again, well, the struggle with all the time difference. You wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, you need for sleep again. That's what we go until 6 o'clock. You say, well, that doesn't grab because 8 o'clock you have to go out again. So they make sure you are close to the outside world, and then do that. I'm sure the person that you do that for ensure that then people then go there with one focus. They don't want much outside influence for can't influence them. Right, I think
say work for them.
No, that is it. It works for them.
Yeah.
So I mean, Mr. Jalvin say any country go adopt a system where you know say they work for them. In terms of economic advantage, security wise, and developmental wise, and so many others. And for China, it's working for them.
Yeah, because you don't tell whether they plan this.
I was those initial days I was frustrated. I was frustrated big time.
Anybody will go under. It's not just too easy for them to get access to. It's not just possible.
It's not possible.
Because they want concentration, as you say. The people of China, even the people where they want them for listening to what they want for the
Yeah.
So well, but if you look at from that time to now, it worked for them. They're not able to succeed. We see. I think say that now China they invite largest number.
Yes.
Because look, another batch they go tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think one thing we admire about the Chinese are the fact say they know how to deal with crowd.
No, because they get.
They get crowd.
Because then I can remember last year when we go, it's like you get over 400 people in. So for let them manage that crowd, you know the skill that we then pull for manage that crowd, make sure say each country all the representatives them they're able to see them at every time. Then they then they check on una, then they check on una. So like that, one of the questions the way I be they ask Mr. Jalo. How many people in total go per this think tank? How many countries then they invite? And like how when they go don't do some lecturing, una go must do like intercultural exchange or like exchange knowledge, but other African countries. So like if you want can do something salon, it's okay. Nigeria when like a West African country. They self be parts of them and they already get something like this way they exist. Now so and so then they do their own. Probably if we look at, because anything they compare countries then, you not only compare the European countries then you come again to African countries then, because the African countries then when you don't look at African countries, you can from match up to what they do in a salon. So like how una be able for waiting una able to learn from other countries there if other countries then participate. And how una face una go able link up with the other countries and they again for create like not only a think tank in Sierra Leone but like in the West African region or even West Africa.
Okay. First and foremost, the think tank, these are the first in the history of Sierra Leone. All the one the way they go now bilateral. The name think tank, not a funny thing. These now scholars them, highly placed people. Okay, the other African countries they go, but for Sierra Leone this is the first time where China every way they invite Sierra Leonean them for go think tank and scholars them. When we go, we on batch will not be meet with any other African countries.
Purely Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone, Sri Lanka, and Laos.
Which is Timor.
East Timor.
Okay.
Okay. Now then we go. The first day, because in fact, Namibia do the welcoming address. You see, we will meet with the vice president of this graduate school of Chinese Academy inside Binde, with them lecturers, them very, very big people. You see, so the agenda, it was purely academic. For just go show we how themselves set up this thing, this think tank.
Well, I would draw the say think tank. For the layman with it out there, waiting on a really understand by the word think tank, how they define and so now.
Well,
because we don't say think tank. Probably somebody they out there way let just break and down for them, let them understand. Because we don't talk about research, we don't talk about policies. So somebody go confused. So waiting a think tank.
In the simplest form, it just start like where you get a water bouncer. Okay? That na tank where they put water. Okay? How it full up, that's where you go able serve all your rooms them or other areas them. You understand? But if it be foresee that your water bowser is limited, then a small thing no more you go able to go na your rooms or this and that. Hope you understand? This now like people then we go able to sit down critical, you know, when they get a critical thinking on how for advice, you know, institutions there what thing they for do with them will able to get an impact, a positive impact. You know? So but not all kind of people are just able to do that. You know, the category of people that will be able to do that. These are people that are research oriented. Yes, of course, you talk blah blah A, B, C, and D without doing research. Now that I refer to as an anecdotal evidence. Okay? Meaning you just they say yes, this person don't talk A, B, C, and D, you concur, yes, not true. But like a think tank and scholars, you know, the word scholars, these now educated people then, we really know what you for do. We go able to advise. You see? So now based on that, then I make the one day we go there, as Dr. said, now social professors then. Now purely academic. You see? And they not host on no side. They host on the Graduate School of Chinese Academy. When they say they graduate, all the participants they did, now people who don't get first degree. You see, we at least then we able look at issues. Then they say yes, you know, this is what we're going to do, A, B, C, and D. So it was that's really
okay. Now let's look at the food.
Mr. Dan,
everybody get experience.
yes, everybody get experience. Yeah. Well, I mean, the experience from the team with regards to Chinese food was mixed. Some people struggled big time. Some people not struggle better. Well, me at the end of the category, we are not struggle better.
We're not struggle better.
So
you know the. So in other words, you know the strain for pick and choose. Well, you pick and choose, but
let's say,
well, for me, for man will be complete back. We know say generally, Saloma do use in Kasali potato leaf.
Yes.
That rest, you know the play with them. And some man back do use na rest in the eat money. That rest we do eat rest na money. They can't go far.
Yes.
Though it take her back even time. You can't go far, especially if that case Kasari for morning, you can't go far. So man don't use that one day. So when you go change that one day drastically, it will take a time for adjust. And because really we were special guests, because the way they receive we and this particular institution is a prestigious institution in China. So they make sure say they give we according to them the best. But that best in terms of food was a problem for most of we Salon people there. Because they will make sure they put in Chinese soup, where most of the time nobody touch themselves.
And they had for see.
Some of the other things was a bit continental, so it was a problem. A lot of vegetable. Me personally, I like vegetable because almost at the Bible I go street. So I like vegetable. So me not be worried with that one day. But generally, of course, Pamino not there. The rest, you get one of the plain rice, or the other one you get the rice and the egg. Then and we don't eat anything for long. So much tired.
Yes.
So sometimes it can really challenge the breakfast. Sometimes it can challenging because variety is not there. But I can always say when you go other side, you get to adapt.
Yeah.
So
you know,
that's
the experience. I know say when I eat plenty.
No, I
sure.
I want to know waiting that you experience like where una go sightseeing. Waiting at some of the places they wanna go like sightseeing.
Okay.
Because I know say the
we go Forbidden
one
City.
place.
We go Forbidden City, which was the first place we'll go. Yanda will walk out for several kilometers. That waka na Forbidden City.
Yeah.
And we not Salon, no waka too much.
So you don't go Great Wall, you
No,
don't
we
go
go there.
Great Wall.
Forbidden City on the first weekend.
First place.
Yes.
My, that one, we work.
Wow.
It was like between then 9 o'clock, going to 9 we reach here. Say when you come on there after 12, man, we work.
But I know you just small.
No, you know the young and just one word.
Yeah, I know. You know.
You know they use
but
scam.
Wait, but when I cannot go on one bottle water for the journey ahead. Well, it was good. I mean, great word again. Well, it was an adventure. Some people stop at different points.
so you climbed up.
Well, I go far. I don't reach here. No,
You
I go far.
have to reach there.
I go far.
But that me I reach the end.
No.
That pictures they prove I reach the end.
So, well, you don't say Photoshop the now.
No, we reach the end.
For which
And I got me certificate.
great wall.
I got me
For which
certificate.
then? Anyway, I don't know.
We'll talk about
I got me certificate
We'll talk
now for
then.
sure I climb the great wall.
Susan, also you reach.
You not claim.
I claimed I reached some certain area. Now I say, you know what? I said this one I come also one pass that one I go meet me down.
It's not just easy for claim, but very amusing when you go claim that great wall day. Along the line, a lot of entertainment, a lot of then they make foods and they. When I come across, I don't see. Well, I don't look.
all food don't they do.
Then they make first them.
So when you first castle, I think
Yes.
that 12 castle 12
Then there's
has come back.
something there where you waiting and come. But I don't
Nothing only they
just
do.
go for
They don't
back.
put nothing.
Well, they don't do.
You only say when you buy, I just see, the
Before na claim.
before na claim.
Before na
Oh, yeah.
Before na
claim.
claim. Or if one of them can't come back.
One of them can't
In fact, they just make them more interested for you for buy souvenir.
Yes.
Those will give you
For
the
me, I
food.
think me frightful experience that for Candon because I afraid heights.
For Kano?
Yes,
Oh, you
I
claim.
afraid heights.
Well,
Yes.
that's
So
what
when you
happened.
don't go up where they Candon, if you look right down,
Yeah,
No,
but
but
still,
Yes.
but the challenge is that when for Canon is very challenging because when you don't go up to a certain extent, you foot.
yes.
It is so they shake,
Yes.
and if you don't know how for Canon,
Yeah,
like, then
for
it's
Canon,
dangerous
so you go for
because the step they're not even.
No?
not
From short,
So
some
low,
high.
yes.
So when you Canon, if in fact that they said make some money no agree for go too
Too
high
up,
yeah.
because for Canon now will be more of a challenge.
Yeah.
Even though for Canon easy, but when you foot under you,
Well, I go tell them a square.
yes, we reach here.
The longest. And you know one thing we think you always say, it now then be the longest. You know, down the back they say that the longest square in the world.
Yeah.
Everything, yeah.
Almost all day. You go
Is
see
it?
there. Almost go when I start here. When I go for go anywhere.
Yeah.
When I see them get the imperial there, when I see because when I say them they show you sign
Oh my God.
not too easy.
We are making
So
money.
colourful.
We are making
So
money in the
colourful.
tourists. Thousands of people. Thousands. Any of those sites you enter, there
And
are
tourist
thousands.
Because inside they do movie there. Because they shoot one old movie on Chinese there with this. One old movie that they do and they.
And when you talk about thousands, I talk about 2,000.
Yes,
We talk about several thousands of people within a given 1 hour.
Yeah.
Then they make money.
My.
When we get to Bones Island, we now touristic, area around it. If we really manage it well, tourism. Honestly, if we $10 that they pay for course for go look that side in the Bones Island, we go look for generate a lot of revenue. So we don't know how waiting for do actually for attract more tourists because we get look Otamba Kilimi, we get Rakabala, the hill they all na a place that place and they a place that we get that touristic business. So we go for try for make sure that actually people are able for tap the resources to them. Go see you say then send the pier and come out, let's say and they sleeve them, all that.
That will attract a lot of
Yes.
tourists. It will attract a lot of tourists.
In fact, they talk to the tourist board, the one of the guys that we go for tourist, I've been the hamburger. I say, man, I say, until you don't see, I say, what you can do now, Sierra Leone. I say, we good at proposals. Now, until we say, well, now we don't write proposal, we don't get funded.
Like it was an chef.
You see? Because like you rightly say, them place them the touristic attraction. And until Sierra Leone we with tax revenue, it get a broad base. You understand? It will be very difficult. You see, because that area, the touristic attraction, now a very important area. Very vital. You go from here, just get some boat them. We will get people there.
We come back to the main purpose of
You understand?
where una go check.
That's it. That's what we are saying.
It's about think tank.
That's it.
We will try for talk about comparing Sierra Leone or Africa, although it's other African countries, not go but like other Asian countries. But even though Asian countries, now the first thing is for go like a think tank, waiting, or if they don't already get think tank, how do you think tank then they work? Because probably, as I say, this now a stepping stone. As Sierra Leone, we can take a lead as a country if we don't able to develop a very good structural think tank. We can able to partner with other African countries then, and people themselves can do peer exchange to we. Like you can do study and tour to we say, okay, when I don't get a well-established think tank, we want to can study how they go about, how come about think tank, how they go about and waiting they do, and how we self go learn from for go implement now we own country. So like I just want to let you tell me briefly like the other Asian countries then don't already get think tank, waiting to be their own feelings or waiting to be their own opinion about having a think tank. And as the only African country, they waiting at some of the contributions the way una make to that particular way to una feel say una careful to them. It's not only you as Sierra Leone taking, but waiting una able careful to them say as Sierra Leone so we self the practice. Now this and this Sierra Leone don't put in place where I think say where we go we just need for push them or where they self able for land for una.
That's good. Thank you very much.
Overloaded.
Indeed, but let me start with the contribution. That was one very important thing. When I've been the answer one of the questions sent to the professor, even they asked me if we get think tank na Sierra Leone. The answer was yes, we get think tank na Sierra Leone. Okay. The way how me perceive them, when I look at the office of the president, the office of the president get what we refer to as the strategy and policy unit. OGID, you know the role and function of OGI. You understand? OGI, they do research. The one who before we did campaign would have been on the research. You understand? Then at least they inform, government policies to the general public. And although again you they listen from the general public, what in they talk, pass them back to government. You understand? Then when you look at this component, the people that we then did it, now the strategic policy unit, you see no like Professor Sheku Jibril then, Professor Stasakin then, these are very sober-minded people. You understand? That was the area where maybe they come from saying, you know what, we get similar things then. But here is just a unit. Okay? Where before say they we're supposed to get researchers. So similarly, when I make a talk say I say we need to reinvent the way we complement the effort of government. Even though we get all the different think tank then, but what we supposed to do is we look at in a different perspective. We say, you know what? Now we focus on this one, like what Dan we talk about tourists. Tourists now one important area we say before say we go able to advise, you know what? This now you don't need plenty money for make like a Bones Island. I tell you. You understand? So we go able to recommend, we do one or two research then we come up, we get a formidable team. Now that's make we don't decide say, now we go forth for a retreat. Now Makeni, now the University of Makeni, with all the people there also will hang heads. We say, you know what, this now so supposed to do. Like Laos and Sri Lanka, they said this is not the first time this way they invite them. You see? But like the think tank, not a popular phenomenon in Sierra Leone. You see? So that now the thing that we've been the time for talk about. We say in the little way we've been the one, but like the people understand. You see?
Well, me feel say the way we perceive the think tank will get inside this country it's far different from what we go see and because we are so not just small scale, you know,
That's it.
we call ourselves civil society. At the same time, you know, you're not too effective as you look at, you know, because we would expect say by then 10 and then the other thing is if you get that kind, you know, units and they're for able to listen to one, you know.
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Because when I come up with something, they for able to look and say, okay, then people are oh, see what thing they come up with, then when I see the able effect. But sometimes you go talk and they go left, you know, that's not commodity. So we hope say, baby, if we with my experience from China, if we don't see them, I don't think the direction of go, we hope say then go for this. But we go now, we're not going to tell. Look, what you want for talk, what you want for tell, family, you just fresh from China. I don't see you don't like you can
Sure.
Okay. So what you are left with family?
Well, what you are left with family is that we get a fruitful study tour na China. We've learned a lot, and we just hope say whatever ideas we try to put forward, the authorities that will listen. Sierra Leone will all you. Nobody can make Sierra Leone. We say for make Sierra Leone. We have a responsibility. If we fail in responsibility, we pick in and we can pick in them and go blame you tomorrow. So make the one they ready before, then listen to the good advice that we're going to give them. The advice will not where the officials not good, they're not bound for taker. Yeah. But when we give a good advice, they listen to those advice and they implement them so that salon go better for we. Because we don't go to work for Congo. Go tell we go for Kamaka Salon. Salon will only so they listen.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Well, in Dr. Oni Eddie Fraser Williams, the chemistry department today for Big College, University of Sierra Leone. Yes, Mr. Jallo.
Yeah, I joined the queue for say at least we say will try our level best for implement, you know, because Sierra Leone the implementation and not the biggest problem. You raise good proposals for the implementation. But I do believe, say, by the grace of God, with what we don't go learn, we will try for come practice, you know, because OGI and that we stand for, and we'll continue for do that take home.
Thank you. Yes, Anna.
Danny, tell me first to get Tumara.
Well, Tuma, actually, you know, see, always we talk about this accountability, but notwithstanding that, we get people that would call for good reports of things that would happen various across the.
So what order they stand by?
Well, we got plenty of them, but local, a lot of them they all stand by.
Kono they on standby.
Yes, Kono.
And we just want to get to that side. Well, family, till we meet again next week Saturday, the same time. We just want for encourage you now for continue for the call the OGI 644. Tomorrow morning we'll cancel now with the feedback, and we always they cancel now with the feedback from the OGI 644 toll-free line and other activities the way the OGI they do. We did try for Lucas for get an interagency meeting within the next 2 weeks with we district focal partners them, and we also download for the OGP, the Open Government Partnership, where now the global something where OGI they coordinates the implementation of them. So we still they urge the agencies them, the MDAs them, we get commitments away for implement. They know what they for do. We get for OGP steering committee meeting very soon, and we need updates on the one day.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Fraser Williams, for we join me, Mr. Jallo. Are you sure that you can say?
Yes, indeed.
And Anna. Well, Sochi, we will meet back. Mina, that must say. Bye bye.
And what they don't call the weekend, one